Good evening. Hello. Thanks again for the opportunity. I'm here to speak tonight on the equity resolution, which, as you know, is a repeat of previous resolutions, the May 2021 equity statement, and of the VDOE guidance. And incidentally, few people in the previous years where equity has been a subject have understood what equity is or its agenda, but thousands of us understand what it is now. Equity statement, I'm sorry, did any of you, by the way, March is at Equity Month, replaced March is Women's History Month. Did anyone object to that at all? Because I do. Your equity committee cites the VDOE and Ed Equity guidance as its first source. Your committee that helped you draft the statements that your resolutions and statements. Also, the SACE website states this, quote, education equity is achieved when we eliminate the predictability of student outcomes based on race, gender, zip code, ability, socioeconomic status, or languages spoken at home. Our definition of education equity is informed by student-centered outcome data. The Ed Equity guidance that is your source cites numerous sources, amongst them Gloria Ladson-Billings, Ibram Kendi, and the National Equity Project, and I'm going to talk a little bit about all three. Your source, Ladson-Billings, created culturally responsive pedagogy, which led to culturally responsive instruction, now required for teacher licensing in Virginia. I think you know that. Her 1995 paper, titled Toward a Critical Race Theory in Education, was the genesis of culturally responsive instruction. Last March, in the VDOE webinar on equity in culturally responsive instruction for all teachers, the flowchart detailing a culturally responsive teacher used the publication Critical Race Theory Today as its source. Your source, the National Equity Project, explains in detail on its website how to defend against the criticisms of CRT in schools. They reference systemic oppression and equity together. From an American Bar Association article entitled A Lesson on Critical Race Theory, CRT co-founder Kimberly Crenshaw notes, quote, CRT is not a noun, but a verb, just like your equity resolution talks about equity. The article refers to Gloria Ladson-Billings as one of the originators of CRT, your source for your equity documents. And to quote Mr. Kendi, the defining question is whether the discrimination is creating equity or inequity. If the discrimination is creating equity, then it is anti-racist. If the discrimination is creating inequity, then it is racist. You're supporting discrimination. Finally, you are not reinventing the wheel here. You are not using a different definition of equity than the Virginia Department of Education. I'm sorry, you are trying to by saying that it's based only on opportunity. It's based on outcomes. You're not reinventing the wheel on what's next or what road you're going to take to equity. There's one road, there's one agenda. It's disastrous for all students, and it's based on outcomes, and you will never be satisfied on those outcomes. You will continue to judge your opportunity based on outcomes. Stop lying to us, please.
Thank you very much.